Today I want to talk about the 11 items that I sold on eBay over the weekend. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about feeding the eBay machine. I've talked about it before, and this is not a new topic. A lot of people talk about this on YouTube if they are resellers and sell on eBay. But it is absolutely true. The past couple of weeks, I took, I wouldn't say some time away from my eBay store, but I was listing items, just not listing as many as I really needed to keep my store flourishing. And there's a lot of personal stuff I had going on, good stuff, but just a lot going on. And I saw my business kind of like it was climbing up, and then it started coming back down. And then as we got towards the end of last week, it was kind of trickling. And then I'm looking around and noticing that I have a lot of inventory to list. And so I made a video Friday talking about trying to do 300 listings this week, and I kicked it off pretty strong this weekend with it was right at either 49 or 50 listings that I put up on combination of Saturday and Sunday. And then I've got through Thursday night to crank out 250 more. So I'm going hard at it, and we'll just see where we end up at the end of the week, if I hit the 300 or if I fall short. But so on Friday morning, I had like a $5 sale that I included in Friday's video, because it was like 6 o'clock Friday morning, and I included it in my overnight sales from eBay. The rest of Friday, I did not have a single sale. Going through Saturday, I didn't start. My first sale on Saturday was probably about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it started off super slow. Now at this point, I still had only listed a handful of items for the entire week. The pictures I took on Saturday, the items I listed, so I took the pictures super early in the morning. And I say super early, so between about 7:30 and 11 o'clock. So I spent about 3.5 hours taking pictures on Saturday morning. And a lot of that was clothing. I'm still a little bit slow on clothing because the way I have my setup, it's not optimal, but I just make it work. But so then I started posting all the new items that I took pictures of, and then it seemed like the faucet started trickling back on. And then yesterday through last night, it just kind of, I'm going to say, opened up. I only had 11 sales for 2 days. Which still, I'm not complaining, not only 11, like I'm mad about that. But, they started coming through, and a lot of it from stuff I had just listed. So it's interesting, out of the 11 sales, 5 of them are items that I listed on Saturday and Sunday. So, and then I started being able to send offers on items that I'd had for months, that all of a sudden, they were more visible to people. I was able to send offers out, and got some stuff moving. So you've got to feed the eBay machine, and I'm mostly talking to myself here. I don't know if anybody else struggles with this, but you just got to keep the inventory flowing in if you want the sales flowing in and the cash flowing into your pocket. It seems to be just a pretty simple equation, and I just kind of let my foot off the gas for 2 or 3 weeks on the number of listings I got up. But I've got ambitious plans this week, and I talked to my wife yesterday about getting 300 items listed, and we started talking having the conversation about, well, how many items do we need to sell to get to this much revenue, and I said, well, it's gonna be a huge ramp up to do what her and I talked about, but it's even a little beyond the goal that I set for myself this year. But she wasn't talking about doing it immediately. She's talking about, over like a 2-year period, getting to this pretty sizable number on reselling and reselling and YouTube combined. So I know I talked about, getting monetized on YouTube. And so I think it's going to play a pretty small part in the overall picture, but, it's part of it. So, all right. Just remember to feed the beast whenever you can, hopefully every day. That's really the way to go about it, is be consistent. eBay recommends listing, I think, at least 5 items per day. I've not read that on their website. I Got that from watching a Caterpie video, Chase, from Chase After the Right Price, when they started an eBay store from scratch. And they were consulting with eBay, and their eBay consultant said, you know, optimally 5 items per day or more is what their algorithm likes to see. So I believe that. I don't think they were lying about it. They have no reason to lie about that. And that's kind of what I keep in the back of my head. And right now I'm trying to list way more than 5 items per day. So let's get into the 11 items that I sold over the weekend. This first one, it was hard for me. I say this a lot about stuff because I find so much cool stuff. It was hard for me not to keep this one because I grew up using Craftsman tools. But I found these at Goodwill, and I listed them and sold them. Is this Craftsman barbecue set. So it's got the spatula, it's got the tongs, the fork, and the little baster brush. They're used, but in great shape. I say used. They're out of the package. I don't know if they've ever actually been used. They don't look like they have any use to them, but they're definitely not in the package. So I picked up the set in a whole bag of utensils, outdoor grilling utensils, for $8.39. I just donated all the other ones because they were all just like cheap, junky utensils. I wanted those Craftsman utensils. So I paid $8.39 for the bag, and I sold that set for $42.89 plus shipping. Pretty good one. Next is this pair of Cleveland Quad Pro woods. It's not a brand new style, but it's a good brand. They're even a little bit rough shape. I mean, there's some scuffs, and the grips I have wrapped up because they're coming apart. They need new grips, which I called out in the description. So I put a pretty good price on the pair. I sold them for $29.89. But they came with a set of irons that I bought. So I bought a set of TaylorMade irons from a gentleman, or TaylorMade golf clubs. Made a couple videos about it, but ended up asking about golf clubs and got mistaken for somebody else who was asking for golf clubs. And anyhow, so I bought the whole set for $40. I had $30 assigned to the irons that I sold. I've got $5 assigned to this pair of woods, and then I've got $5 assigned to the driver that I still have for sale. So I've got $5 into those woods, and I sold them for $29.89 plus shipping. And luckily, my dad called yesterday, and he goes, I noticed you listed some more golf clubs. Do you need golf club boxes? And I said, yep, I just sold a pair of woods, so I do need golf club boxes. So I've got one sitting right back here that he brought me this morning, and it is exactly the right size to put those woods in. It's perfect. So we're going to get those out today. Thanks, Dad. Next up, this is something I picked up Friday morning before I made the video talking about, I did show this off in the video actually, but it's this uranium glass. It is an ashtray, even though it doesn't have the little divots. It's got the matchbook holder right back here, but I'll just kind of, you can see the glow. I mean, you can tell it's uranium glass because of the color, but you can see that really cool glow to it. I picked that up for 75 cents at the estate sale. Just a killer piece for 75 cents. And sold it for the going price of $24.89 plus shipping. They were selling for $25. That's what the recent sold comps were. So I put it up and sold it in, like, I don't know, 3-4 hours. It sold pretty fast. So 75 cents into $24.89 plus shipping. It's a good flip. This next one's even better. I was at a garage sale. Was it Thursday? Wednesday. It was Thursday. Stopped by a garage sale with my wife, and there was it sounds mean, but it was kind of junky stuff. It looked like it, I don't know, some of the stuff had been weather damaged or something, I don't know. But the lady was just like making deals like crazy. It was insane. So there was these Franklin Covey planners. I've got 2 more of them over here that aren't as nice as this. It's just, they're like regular single binder type. But this one's got the zip around. It's got some of the pages and inserts. It's got a handle on the back of it. It's in decent shape. It does have like a scuff mark here to show in the pictures. And it's red, which is a desirable color. But I had all 3 of them. And I said, how much do you want for these 3 planners? And she goes, $1. Give me $1. It's like, okay. So I put 50 cents on that one as my cost, and I was happily surprised with the comps, and I sold that one in about 24 hours, maybe a little bit less, for $44.89 plus shipping. So 50 cents into $44.89 plus shipping. If you see Franklin Covey planners out and about, definitely take a look at them. They can be worth some money. There was more that were worth more money, but that was pretty good. All right, this next item I saw at a garage sale in my neighborhood. This is a carpet installation. They call it a knee kicker. It's got the little things here, and then you can twist out the big spikes to really get into that thick Berber carpet. Cool piece, very sturdy. It's been well used. It was also taken care of, so it's in good shape. They had $10 on it. I looked it up, even though it was $10 for a used tool, and saw that they were selling it higher than 100% sell-through rate at anywhere from $30 to $40. Mine wasn't as good a shape as the $40 ones, so I paid $10 and I sold it for $32.89 plus shipping. I sold that one in about 48 hours as well. Next, so the rest of it, I was heavy clothing on listings. And this wasn't all listed on Saturday, but a couple of the items were. The next 6 items were all clothing that came in yesterday, and a couple of them, the last 2 came in very early this morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning and then like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I just counted those as weekend sales because I want to get them shipped out today. I'm not going to, somebody buy something at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to hold it another full day and not ship it out until Tuesday. So we're going to go through 6 clothing items that sold. And this is why I'm glad that I went through and expanded my business back out into clothing. Otherwise, I might only be sitting with 5 sales for the weekend, not 6 sales. And there's a couple of good sales in here. So, in fact, 2 of them made my top 3 for the weekend in profit. So, I'm glad that I got back into clothing. The first item that sold, because this one is not sealed up, I'll take it out of the package, is this vest. So this is a Straight Down is the brand, which is a golf brand. You can see the logo there. But it's a nice puffer vest, but it was Land Rover branded with the stitching on there and embroidery. And I saw this at Payless Thrift Store, and I was like, I couldn't find any comps for it. I found some comps for some really nice Range Rover vests that were like canvas or just really well-known name brand. Straight Down isn't as popular a name brand. And so I saw a few had sold. I was like, you know what? Somebody's going to want that vest. Even though I couldn't find any sold, any listed, my gut just said for $5, buy the vest. So bought it, had it listed for about 2 weeks, and I paid $5 and sold it for $33.91 on an offer. I think I had it at $39. I did send an offer on it, and they took the offer, $33.91 plus shipping. Pretty good turn on that one. Next up, I don't usually buy kids clothing, but I did in this time because they were in the men's section. They put them in the wrong section. But the brand is Fair Harbor, so that's the brand there. I can't say that I've ever seen it before, and I've never seen it again. But Fair Harbor is the brand. Whenever I saw the tag, I was like, okay, that looks like a high-end tag. The material felt nice. They're, I think, a boys large swim short. And picked them up for $5.73, and I sold those for $22.89 plus shipping. And then next, we've got these Columbia Omni Shade like hiking pants. They're that like nylon material, that real lightweight nylon material. And there's 2 reasons I bought these pants. First reason that made me stop and look at them was they were a half off color, So I only paid $3.96 for them instead of $7.29 plus tax. I paid half of that, so I ended up paying $3.96 all in on those pants. The second thing is they're convertible pants, so they zip off just below the knee to become shorts. Those two things right there made it worth buying those pants. If they had been full price and not convertible, I wouldn't have bought them. Would not have been worth it at all. So Columbia is a brand that is a very saturated outdoor brand. You can find it at TJ Maxx. You can find it all over the place. But so there's a lot of times it's not worth buying. But this time I did. I turned $3.96 into $19.89 plus shipping. Pretty good flip on that one. Then next we've got another pair of swim trunks. Are these Peter Millar. These are the Seaside swim trunks. I was surprised. Found these brand new with tags at Goodwill. Really cool pattern with the marlins on there. Or I guess they're marlins. But picked those up for $5.73 and sold those for $39.89 plus shipping. It's a good one there. Next, I'll take these out because they're not sealed. Are these Levi's 560 Comfort Fit. So in the size, if I had a video a couple weeks ago doing comps on jeans, just men's jeans, and looking at sizes that sell well. Sizes that sell well on waist are 32, 34, 36 is the vast majority of sales. Levi's is the vast majority of brand sales. And the inseam size, the vast majority is 30 and 32 inch. So if you find Levi's in the right style number, in a 32, 34, 36 waist and a 30 or 32 inseam, you should be pretty decent. Just saying, those make up most of the sales. You can sell other waist and inseam combinations. They just don't sell as well. So this hit everything. It was Levi's. It was brand new with tags. It's the right waist and inseam. And it's a discontinued style. The 560 Comfort Fit is discontinued. There is one little small stain right above the back left pocket, which I don't know what it is or how it got there since they're brand new. I did point it out in the description and in a picture. My wife actually found these when we were at Goodwill together. And she goes, "Oh, these Levi's have the tag on them." And I was like, huh. And I looked them up, and I think they're discontinued in 2019 or something like that, the 560 style number. But had a great sell-through rate. I picked them up for $10.10 and sold them for $49.89 plus shipping. And those took about 48 hours. They sold in 48 hours. So good flip on those. Really good flip. Those made the top 3 for the week. Those and those Peter Millar swim trunks made the top 3 in profit for the weekend. And then the last one, this brand is called Stio. I'm probably saying it wrong. It could be Stio. S-T-I-O. This is a base layer, like a seamless base layer garment. That's what they call that. But I picked up some of their pants, which I still have listed, which are worth more money. I didn't even comp these. When I saw the brand, I just picked them up. It's not a great flip on these base layers, but I got them sold. So I picked them up for $7.93, and I ended up selling them on an offer. So I sent an offer out. I got a counter offer back for $14 plus shipping, and I took it. So very little views, watchers, anything on this particular item. And I think I only had it listed for $19.89. The profit just wasn't great on those. So not something I pick up again, but I'm going to make money and get it out the door. And that is all 11 items that sold for me this past weekend. It was a decent week. I was worried a little bit, honestly, going into Friday. It was just quiet. Saturday, quiet until kind of the mid to late afternoon. I was like sweating bullets going, oh my gosh, am I going to have a top 3 or top 5 sales video for Monday? I was a little bit worried, but we got the sales rolling in the door starting Saturday afternoon and ended up pretty good. That's it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below. I truly appreciate all the support, everybody watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, and just all the awesome comments. Just really appreciate everybody and the support. And until next time, Have a great day.